Welcome back. One of the greatest things about riding the Natchez Trace is there are dozens of stops along the way, historical landmarks and wonderful places to visit. Let's take a look at one of my favorites. The Natchez Trace ends just south of Nashville in the friendly town of Franklin. The heart of the city is the square, although it's actually a circle, one of those tricky traffic circles.
I guess this is what's called cruising Franklin, cruising the square.
Welcome to Franklin, Tennessee. Once you've found your way out of the roundabout, it's time to take in the sights. This is beautiful downtown Franklin, Tennessee. The motto is 17 miles and 100 years from Nashville. That's because it's 17 miles south of Nashville, but it was formed 100 years earlier. It is rich in history and it's rich in star power. Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, Alan Jackson, and so many others live within 10 miles of this very square. But it's also so rich in history. Did you know that the Battle of Franklin was one of the costliest battles in the Civil War in 1864 in the terms of human life? History buffs flock here. They love to read about the major battles from the Civil War while walking the streets our forefathers walked in the 1800s. Once you've brushed up on your history, it's time to sashay through the modern day sites. It is like a little postcard. It is just a walk through history. Of course, the neat thing about Franklin is because so many of the country music stars live close, this is where they shop. But that's what's so neat is because this is where they live, so this is where they shop and play.
Now I'm going to be looking at everybody.
Right.
Who's under that
Okay,
cap?
don't embarrass me. Franklin is a mixture of old and new, and even what's new is often made to look old. One of the biggest attractions is Puckett's Grocery. Hey, how are you? What started as a grocery store in a little community south of Franklin called Leaper's Fork has grown into a great Southern-style restaurant and music venue. Because of it being the front yard of so many country music stars, you just never know who you might see, according to Puckett's manager, Max Stevenson.
Because this is their backyard.
You never know who you're going to see. You know, as I said, we treat them like everybody else. And
You don't run up and get autographs
no,
and pictures.
you
just let them eat and
they're
enjoy.
they're family like everybody else, so we want them just to come in and feel comfortable.
Who have you seen? Who have you served?
Oh, Tanya Tucker, a lot. She loves our food. Thanks, Tanya. But we've had Kix Brooks in here. We actually sell his wine, Arrington Vineyards, which he's just opened
I
up.
wanna go there.
It's really good. But we've had them. We've had Keith Urban in. We've actually had Vince Gill perform. We've had Michael McDonald perform.
Oh, wow. Now, did Keith
Win
bring
Varble.
I think everybody wanted to know, did Keith bring
Not to
Nicole?
perform, but they have been in to eat.
Well, no star sightings on this trip, but hopefully next time. And just a block or two from Puckett's, we discovered Monell's. This restaurant has been written up in Southern Living magazine for its down-home charm and its fantastic food served family style. While TW and I wait to be served, we discover a very unusual yet gorgeous sound coming from the foyer. The instrument is known as the Chapman stick. David Parr is a self-taught stick player.
Sort of like the idea of having a keyboard and a guitar in the same thing. That way I can play two parts at once.
So it's like playing a piano and a guitar at the same time.
In a way, yes, except I can bend strings and it's easier to carry around than a piano.
The Chapman stick has been around since 1974, but it was new to our ears. What a treat. We get to feast on some fabulous food and get familiar with a new sound, all while visiting Franklin. Well, it's time to call it a day as we make one last trip around the square and say farewell to Franklin. Next stop is Music City. I'm Tammy Arender for LA Rider.